Kind of getting cozy.
Tyson!
No.
Tyson, wake up!
What? Oh, what? Oh, I just had the weirdest dream. Like we started MSM Live, and then all of a sudden it just stopped all of a sudden, and then. Oh, okay, so we're good. I probably just fell asleep.
I don't know if that was a dream or if it was your very worst nightmare that just took place there with MSM Live being interrupted with technical difficulties, but we're back,
We're
baby.
back.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe we shall see.
See how long we can make it last. You know, it's several months away, of course, from the month of June, the month of Metal Gears and the element of mech, so I don't know why Vamp would be messing around with us today, but we'll see how far we get. Thanks for your patience, everybody, as we figured out those technical difficulties. And Tyson, you know, I recommend that maybe you don't eat so many snacks before you go to bed.
Yes, I'm just extra sleepy today.
Yeah, these dreams that you're having are very, very upsetting.
Very vivid. I need to maybe just drink more water.
Yeah.
Less snacks.
Yeah, no food after 7. That's what I think.
And it's quite the task because it's bright in here, and I still manage to fall asleep.
It is bright despite all of these spooky decorations. Okay,
God,
where were we? We're right back in. Let's launch right back into quick questions. Or no, sorry, these are the long-form questions because I'm answering them and I'm wordy. All right.
Okay. Well, we're gonna re-ask. This one from Sulfur on Twitter. Why is Mythical Island placed between Ethereal Island and Magical Sanctum on the map? Does it belong in the pocket dimension as well?
Right.
Yes.
So, first point of clarification, we'll see, is that there is, in fact, only one pocket dimension. There was an erroneous pluralization.
Accidental plural of pocket dimensions, but yes, there is only one
Just the one.
pocket
So,
dimension.
Ethereal Island and Magical Sanctum are, in fact, neighbors. But yes, people are wondering, what is Mythical Island doing nestled, sandwiched in between those two? Well, on that map menu carousel, we've actually got them formatted and grouped by different mechanics.
Yes.
So you may notice that the Zap Islands are together.
Yep.
Well, actually, I'm going to contradict myself right now.
Okay.
Because Wublin and Celestial are together.
Yes.
Amber is a Zap Island but it's sort of
Amber's its own thing, kind of.
Partnered with Gold Island, so we wanted them there. But the reason that we have Mythical Island where we do is it depends on where the monsters that you're teleporting from come from. So we've got Ethereal Island. Those teleportables are coming just from the natural islands.
Right.
Then we have Mythical Island, where those teleportables will eventually be all the natural islands and the 2 fire islands.
Right.
And then Magical Sanctum is because those teleportables are from the 4 magical islands. So we're sort of going loosely in sequence there along the carousel.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, it was a design decision that was made, but that may not have relevance forever, as we promised during anniversary year that we're going to be sort of taking another look at the map menu, making it a little bit more immersive, a little bit more true to the actual geography.
The map might get a little makeover.
Yes, of the monster world. So yes, we're excited about that.
Yes. Next question on Twitter from Raykin. Were the methods of Dr. Warden E. Spirit for discovering natural epics the same for discovering fire epics?
Well, let me just crack open Dr. Warden E. Spirit's journal here just to double check. Yes, and by that I mean that recall that the theories laid down by Dr. Warden E. Spirit sort of opened up the modern monster handling branch of science to consider these different subspecies, these different variations of the monsters. So as soon as that sort of epiphany happened among the modern monster handling society, it was like, oh, these monsters may be offshoots, they may be evolutionary divergences of these core monster species. So yes, in the same way that natural epics are understood to be variations of their common counterpart, or sometimes even offshooted further from their rare counterparts, the same is true of the fire epic. So yes, same sort of method. Natural chain of thinking there that leads to that kind of discovery.
All right, perfect. We're actually going to get one from Facebook. Ooh, another Dr. Warden E. Spirit question from Damien A. Ray. How did Dr. Warden E. Spirit communicate with the monsters?
How does anyone communicate with anyone, Monster Handler Tyson? Through patience and a lot of hard work. This sort of calls to mind that scene in Arrival. Have you seen Arrival?
I have seen
Amy
Arrival.
Adams and Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner.
Yes, are communicating with the heptapods. It takes a long time. You have to build up that base vocabulary, that mutual understanding with each other. But I think Dr. Wardney Spirit really wanted to communicate. So put in the work.
I think there was both work from both sides.
Exactly.
Also, the monsters.
And we always say that music is the universal language, right? So after just an amount of time acclimating to all the different sounds, it could be something that you just sort of get after a while.
Yeah.
You're just used to hearing
Even if you still don't really know what they're saying.
Exactly.
You kind of
get the gist of it, right?
It's kind of when you're a baby. You're like, I don't know what my parents are saying.
Right, but I know when they're happy with me. I know when they're mad with me.
And if I do this, they'll give me a cookie.
Yes.
Yummy. Now, a question from Instagram, from the Shuckiest. Do monsters ever have any sports or competitions of sorts? Now, we do have Pong Ping, who is known to be one of the most sportiest monsters in the monster world.
Yeah, there's all kinds of other sort of larger scale competitions. I think back to our My Scups Runneth Over video from earlier this year, where Blabbit was hosting that egg hunt. Looking for all the painted eggs across Water Island. And then, of course, above and beyond that, inside the virtual world of the playground, there's all kinds of monster games, I should say, that the monsters partake in there. And so while that's, of course, inside the virtual world of the Wubbox and in the inside there in the playground, that same sort of playfulness and joie de vivre exists in the main dimension of the monster world as well.
So yes, there is competition, but like they're all good sports.
Healthy, yes, and no sore losers. Everyone's just having a good time.
Yes, exactly.
Supportive of each other, etc., etc.
All right. Next question on Twitter from Alpha Wolf CD. What would happen if a globe got stuck inside a Punkleton? Would it make a jack-o'-lantern, or would it be very uncomfortable for both monsters? I would think it would be uncomfortable.
I think both parties could walk away from the experience with a mutual understanding and dignity intact. but I do think if a globe happened to be conjured into being sort of in the same rough space as, for example, if a Punkleton was sort of reclining in the fuser at an inopportune time there, you'd have to
see as you I don't even know if there's a big opening there.
Well, I was sort of envisioning that they were talking about like the rib cage.
Oh yeah.
Of the character.
I was thinking.
But you're right. If it is a smoke-a-lantern, if it appears inside the head. Yes, I do think that would be uncomfortable.
That would be uncomfortable.
Might displace the Punkleton's brain.
Yes, probably give it a gnarly headache. Gnarly headache.
But I do think because the globe hails from a different dimension, that maybe you could extricate the two. And make sure that everybody got out okay. They might need some candy to recover.
Yes.
But I'm sure everything would be okay. Wouldn't advise it though.
No.
Try and avoid it if you can.
Yeah. Exactly. Next question on Twitter from Gamey Gaming. As mentioned by their bio, Crunchy was imagined by Strombone rather than Strombonin themselves. But what does it mean for Strombonin? Do they have their own dream of a monster like the rest of the mythicals? Not the mysticals.
I say no. I say no.
Well, I think they're a pair.
I say no, right. They do operate as a duo.
Yeah.
But I think another thing is that it just sort of goes along with Strombonin's personality of just being sort of like a little serious, a little stoic, a little serene. Obviously sleeps and obviously dreams, but I just don't think it has that same sort of yearning as the Strombone itself had, and that's what the Catalyst picked up on when it came time to devise Crunchy.
Yeah, and the Strombonen's a trusted partner, so I think with the Strombonen's like, hey, I can't, this is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, very happy with what you've made there,
he's just like, yeah, perfect.
It's looking good.
I'm just gonna, and just
proud of you.
They're best buddies.
Proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, buddies. All right, next one on Twitter from the Jazzy Waffles. Love that.
Wow, the best kind of waffles.
Yeah, the jazzy ones. How would you make jazzy waffles?
You play across the beat.
Perfect.
As you're making them. Don't stay in strict time.
Okay, the Crucible is a fixture on Amber Island, allowing the common monsters to change into their rare and epic forms. Is there any chance that the Wubbox is also intrigued by the implications of this structure and maybe thinking of experimenting with one on its own island?
I have heard a lot of rumblings, a lot of musing, a lot of theories about this exact point. I do think because the Crucible is sort of anchored to the higher plane on Amber Island, that if anything, there might be some sort of future potential in reverse engineering that particular magical technology of using keys to unlock the evolutionary potential moving forward. I don't know if the crucible itself would happen, but I mean, something that's interesting that perhaps we haven't spoken much about is the fact that keys, previously understood to just be these little, security mechanisms for the dipsters, are actually these ancient objects of power that have within them evolutionary potential to unlock.
Huge implications that we did not realize.
So I think that the keys themselves are actually the secret ingredients to that kind of evolution, and maybe that might someday factor into to other islands, Wublin Island specifically. Who knows?
Now, actually, I have a question that just popped in my head.
Sure.
Now, in the Be Hereafter trailer, we see Clavavera go through a series of tunnels, which actually we've seen in the Bone Island revealed trailer with Stog.
Give a Stog a bone.
Yes. Now, that makes me think, is there interconnected tunnels all over the monster world? Is this maybe to do with the dipsters? Are they the ones making these tunnels? Where do these tunnels connect? Do you maybe have any thoughts? I know I'm just throwing a curveball at you.
Yeah, of course. The catacombs of the monster world itself are numerous. They're varied. We know, of course, that there are these catacombs underneath Tribal Island that connect it, all the way to Firehaven. Exactly. I think when Clavavera travels from, when it leaves Seasonal Shanty to depart and arrive on Bone Island for the very first time, there's a little bit of magic going on there, only in the sense that recall that Seasonal Shanty is like kind of this weird place that only seasonals can find, and it's sort of hard to pinpoint it on a map. It's like this special
Bermuda Triangle.
Exactly. It's got this sort of surreality to it. So for a non-seasonal, you're kind of like, what's going on? So that specific passage that exists, there may be some hijinks happening there somewhere along the way, because of course, Seasonal Shanty is a wooden floating barge. So, where does that tunnel come from? It's certainly strange. It's the same thing with when Puckleton is disappearing into the hole at Seasonal Shanty. Where are you going?
They're both burrowers, kind of.
Exactly. Glug, glug, glug. I think you got to be careful and make sure that
they might have to go swimming a little bit.
Exactly. So I think that there is something a little bit special going on.
Okay. Interesting. I'm sorry, everyone. I just wanted to ask that question real quick.
Good follow up.
Now, from Facebook. From Dan Grove, what do monsters get spooked by, and does it vary for different monsters? Example, do furcorns get scared by the same thing? Get scared by the same thing.
Great question. Sorry. Hi, Carter. Carter's World. That's Dan Grove.
Yes.
Yes, sends me amazing packages of wonderful things.
Also, I'll tell you one thing. I get spooked by the monsters very easily.
Yes.
Especially when they're messing with me.
Well, especially during our Spooktical Monster Handler short that came out earlier
the first ever
this month.
Short.
You were petrified, my friend.
I just wanted to relax after a long.
Everyone's always bugging you. You just want to live, man.
Yeah. Even then, I'm just trying to sleep on this couch.
And
now we got to do the show.
So what scares the monsters?
Yes, what scares the monsters?
Surprised scares the monsters. I think monsters, because they're monsters, enjoy a fright. Life's no fun without a good scare, etc. But I think it's when it's like, whoa, didn't see you there, or whoa, you've got a different countenance, a different appearance than you usually have. This is kind of throwing me off. I think that's how monsters get kind of scared. They get thrown off. I don't think the scare lasts.
Yeah.
They don't get spooked in perpetuity. They go, oh, all right, it's over now. I'm good. But,
okay. Would you say, because I know back when Hula was messing around and Mammoth had some legal trouble, do you think that scared him as well, having some legal trouble?
No one likes legal troubles, my friend. So yes, that's another
that was another scare, another different scenario.
Litigation. Okay. Don't do that.
Okay, from Instagram, from LionRar74, or Rar. Since they weren't in DOF, how did monsters like Rares, Epics, Magicals, Core, and Ox Seasonals, Ethereals, Wordos, Dipsters come to be?
This is a big question, so I'm going to sort of distill it down to one. Dawn of Fire took place a long time ago.
Long time ago.
And the contemporary monster world is one that exists huge spans of time in the present day after that prehistoric period. So there's been lots of opportunities for new monsters to arrive on the scene, some sort of by spontaneous creation, it seems. Others perhaps carried in through interdimensional portals.
And then some maybe they just didn't want to. They just were just chilling
back.
somewhere else, and they're like, you know what?
Of course, we have sort of like a proto festival of Yay happening on the continent around that correct time of year every year in Dawn of Fire. So if there were any of those groups that I would expect might one day we may discover something about in the archaeological and paleontological record of the ancient monster world, I would expect it would be seasonals. We do know that the pocket dimension existed back then, but it was very closed off. We did not have that same level of communication between the two. It wasn't as easy to travel between. It was very sealed off.
Maybe this is super early days of the seasonals. They're constructing seasonal shanty, maybe.
Exactly,
in the early days, who knows?
Right. Still sort of itinerant monsters,
yes.
Migrating around as they were, thought to be before the discovery of seasonal shanty. So there you go.
All right. Next question on Twitter from Bradley. Bradley, has Galvana remembered that they made the Wobox, and if so, what did they think of the Wobox making the Wublins?
Right, because we've discussed in the past how when the Celestials sort of renew themselves in that life cycle after they become petrified and they revive, they sort of have like a deja vu of past lives experience, kind of like a bad dream.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a good dream. And it's sort of unclear. I don't know yet if Galvana has sort of settled into that realization. Obviously, the Celestials have visited things like Club Box during, Summer Song and stuff like that, but for the most part are still fairly separated from the rest of the monster world. And so maybe there's an inkling, maybe there's some sort of level of like, I know your face kind of thing going on, like, Theoden, Eowyn kind of thing. I just watched Lord of the Rings, so forgive the reference.
Lord of the Rings.
It might be starting to sort of fall into place.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't think it's like a known thing yet.
Okay. It could be like one of those love stories where it's like they had a fiance and then they got dementia, or not dementia, amnesia.
Yes.
And then
it's like, I know you, but I don't know you, but I know you, but I don't know you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then they fall in love.
Well,
not in this case.
As much as the monsters can love each other. They all love each other,
not in this case. Anyway, sorry.
We digress.
We digress.
Yes.
From user Blueberry Dog 61.
What was kind of dog?
Yeah. What was the hardest monster to design and voice?
We get this question a lot, and I always have to sort of come back to the Wubox, just because at the time, we started. I remember monster handler Dave and I all the way back. He said, "Do you want to try and like voice?"
Oh, we're flickering.
Oh, I can't. Looks like our camera cut.
Anyway, this might become a podcast.
Yeah, if you can hear us, if you can still hear us.
If you can still hear us, we're just going to keep going.
All right, yes. So for the record, the internal temperature of the camera got too great.
There we are.
And it turned itself off. So who have we got in here? We got Vamp messing with us from a technical standpoint. We got Furnos being a punk, heating up the camera. And what, sorry? It's Owen Kana is here.
It's a little too hot
erupting.
in here.
Thanks, Kana.
Anyway.
And maybe it's a little closer to home. Maybe Furnos isn't actually being a punk in this moment. But anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the hardest monster to design.
All right, Wubox. So all the way back in 2013 when we were making the Wubox, Monster Handler Dave was like, Matt, do you want to try and make some like noises with your mouth that sound like dubstep sounds? And I think those thankfully were erased in sort of a database crash or a server crash a couple of years ago, because they were not good. We definitely sort of pivoted away from that, so it took a long time to sort of land on exactly the kind of like sound and look that we wanted for that. I remember the original concept for Wubox was a Monster Handler Chris creation. And that part I think was okay, but of course it's a very intricate monster, right? It's got the electricity coursing through its limbs. It's got, it's like one of the danciest monsters around.
Yes.
And those early like wah 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 sounds that I was making were not so hot. So we ended up.
But you know what is hot? The camera.
What is hot? The camera,
which is getting fanned right now by Monster Handler Ben.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. That's a thankless job.
Yes.
And I do just want to check in with Monster Handler Bell, who's done an excellent job there
he's
of our Smunkle Lantern.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it looks like Punkleton.
All
Perfectly.
right.
Well done.
Perfect. Well,
there it is.
Yes, with with that finishing up, we're going to actually finish up with questions with
Great idea.
the question of the show. Question of the show. Yeah. From user.
I love it. I love it.
From user memes for life 6848. I love memes as well.
Who doesn't?
What candy is given out during Spookle trick or treating? Candy corns, candied apples, s'mores.
That's my answer.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's some of them.
I know. Okay. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, but that's very funny.
I'm so sorry. I thought they were giving examples.
That's okay. Yeah, stay classy, San Diego. Yes.
It's hot in here, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Our brains are boiling in here.
Oh,
we got candy corns. We got candied apples. We've got you know what? If you look at Punkleton's costume, the mouthwaterer costume that you can win as part of the trick or treat seasonal quest, those are sort of among the treats that you can expect to getting trick or treated in the monster world. But if you're really lucky and someone has pulled out all the stops, then you may just get deposited into your trick-or-treat bag a lovely moonjube upside-down cake with a dollop of lily-pilly cream. Some of the finest delicacies in the monster world.
Good thing I didn't read that one off.
Yes, you would have spoiled my big finale there, my big reveal. So yes, candy corn, s'mores, candied apples, everything that you see on the mouthwater, those are sort of the common fare of the trick-or-treat menu.
All right, perfect. Now, we're going to be right back because we're going to actually do some Monster Kitchen with some pie.
First, we're going to jump into an ice bath to make sure that we don't pass out. But yes, we're gonna roll into Monster Kitchen. So with my clammy palm, thank you so much, Tyson. I'll pass it off to the rest of the Monster Handlers. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that.
Little clammy.
Have a great rest of the episode, everybody, and maybe I'll see you for the sign off at the end.
All right.
How's that sound? All right.
Perfect.
We'll see you in just
We'll be right
a second.
back.
Monster Kitchen.
Monster Kitchen.
It appeared that Fairmine really thought that we were selling to the present day here.
Yeah.
But today on Monster Kitchen, we are going to be enjoying this beautiful piece of apple honey crumble with several options of toppings. We've got pickles. We've got cheese. We've got sour watermelon gummies.
Yummy.
We've got sprinkles, also known as
Okay.
We've got icing, whipped cream, white cheddar, and my personal favorite, hot sauce. So,
Interesting spread that you've provided for us, Jen. All right.
I thought it would be fun.
Let's monsterfy this.
Let's monsterfy this apple pie. Very nice. All right.
Last episode, this is vaguely sophisticated.
This.
It is very sophisticated. We've got a
Yes.
sophisticated palate now.
Ugh.
What kind of pickles are those?
They are dill.
I'm also hot take here, everyone. I don't like pie that much.
You're gonna eat it.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Monster Annabelle, why don't you pick up the first topping?
There you go.
Sprinkles.
Oh, very
All
nice.
right, let's have some Pringles here.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. You put a lot there.
Yep.
Gotta sprinkle it up.
Got to sprinkle it up.
Do double dose for me, please.
There we go.
Monster Annabelle loves sprinkles.
He loves
All right,
sprinkles.
Monster Annabelle, you want to pick the next
Ba,
one?
ba, 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 ba,
No, but
ba.
I will.
There we go.
Cheese.
Cheese.
This is
Okay.
actually not bad on.
Yeah, I know, but again, I don't love pie. Plus cheese is good, but like,
I wouldn't put cheese on apple pie.
It's delicious.
There are people who would do that.
that's true.
Nice melted.
Well,
slice
us,
of patty.
we do.
Well, now-
Apparently. All right, Jen.
Roll me this one, please.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-ba.
Gummies.
Gummies.
Wow, guys, we're getting some good toppings.
Yeah, we are, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I have no pie?
No.
Okay.
We can't do
Yourself,
a
let me-
segment just for you.
All right, Monster Annabelle, Tyson, ready?
What do we have? We have whipped cream. That's nice.
This is amazing.
This is an amazing one. I think we should do one more, just because last time we had 5. And just
No, please.
I'm sorry. I want to at least ruin it. I want to have the chance to ruin it. Here, Monster and their Matt.
I think
you're
I
off
need a
camera.
better
You
helper
wanna
than
pick
that,
our
Jen,
last one?
please.
White cheddar seasoning.
Yeah, little white chetty.
Why did you do one more?
I wanted it to be a little less pleasant.
That's the whole point of Monster Kitchen.
That's the whole. She's putting a lot on.
Gotta get the white ched in there.
I guess.
All right, everybody.
Okay,
Remember
Monster
what
Healer
right in there.
Ben.
disgusting to
Yeah,
us.
you wanted
You
to
wanna go
present
give?
it?
You wanna
It is
go give the
nutritious
viewers
for
a
us.
beautiful view
Let's
of
give
our
it a look-see.
exquisite snack?
Yummy, yummy. Oh,
Wow.
Oh, there you
Ooh.
go. Very yummy.
All right, everyone. Make sure you get a bite of everything in here.
All right, let me squeeze in here.
You,
Oh, it
you
smells-
see the severed foot
It
there?
It smells like so much cheese.
Oh my god.
This is. Oh my goodness. One sec.
That's brutal.
Everyone
I'm
get-
taking a bite. That's brutal.
1 second.
I can't get it on my
I'm
phone.
so scared. I like the smell. I don't like.
All right,
No?
ready,
Oh.
everyone?
All right.
And go.
Huh?
Bon appetit.
Okay. Ain't too shabby.
No.
Oh wait.
I'm going in for
It's got a
second.
nice cheddar note in
I got a
there
lot of white cheddar in one bite.
amongst the sour watermelon flavoring. I'm gonna go in for another
Yeah.
bite.
Yeah, I'm with
Ooh.
you.
You know, I prefer my apple pie hot,
And you-
but I mean, this is fine.
You know what, guys? I think I'm liking pie. Let me do
So-
this again.
This is what character development is.
Monster
Wait, actually,
Handler
I really
Tyson
don't.
really likes apple pie with cheese.
I don't like that bite.
It's really good, except for when like the cheddar cuts in.
Oh, gross.
bit.
Oh, wait, no.
Almost done.
I didn't like that one.
Here's Monster Handler Bell. Really like the pie. He's eating the whole slice.
I got a bite with a lot of cheese. I don't like that.
Wow.
Ugh.
Thank you, everybody. That was delightful.
That was good.
What a spooktical treat.
That was a mix.
Monster fried apple pie.
Monster-fied apple pie.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Monster Kitchen.
A Monster Kitchen.
We'll be right back.
What? Yeah, we'll be right back. about to react to some Monsterpieces, and my stomach,
art.
some beautiful art, and my stomach's still a little queasy
You okay?
from the Monster.
That entire break, you went to the bathroom. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna say.
All right.
Don't worry about me. Anyway, let's look at some nice art that the community has sent to us. It seems to have some spookable-esque decorations in its kind of head branches, if you want to call them that, and then also also has some mummy wraps around its wrists and arms right there too. And just getting into the spookable season, I really like this. It's really cool. Okay, next one, please. Ooh, whoa, wait, what am I looking at here? I don't have my glasses on. A toe jammer, yes.
Right over here.
A man. This is just like a completely different style. I need to see what I'm seeing here.
I will jump in and assist.
Yes.
These are the single elementals dressed up as their corresponding celestials.
Cool. That is
So you see
That's
Tweedle
what I
sort of
thought.
dressed up like Atmos. You see Mammoth there dressed up like Glacier, etc.
very nice. Very cute. I really like the style. Ooh, a wisp right here with another colorful, cool color background here. And they're just having a good time. What do you think of this Monster Hunter, Ben?
I love the background gradient for sure, and really cute
Yeah, they're
interpretation.
just very cute. I like the little smirk that they have on their face, and they're just that with you just want to be friends with.
Absolutely.
Yes. Next one.
Ooh, a bit mysterious.
Very cool Punkleton with kind of a different sign. And it says "Be spooky." I mean we have been spooky. I think this last month, and I have been spooked this last month as well. And
you okay? You recovered from your scare?
I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Thank you. But yeah, no, I really like how vibrant the orange and green is here. Yeah. Good job. Whoa, we're back.
Boo!
Oh god.
Duh.
I'm here.
Hey, wait a second.
What? Oh.
Hey, wait a minute.
so-
No! My powers, all my powers. No,
No?
please. Keep it for the remainder of the show.
Mine.
Yes, I decided to drop in and see how you guys were doing. Something that I forgot to mention about the question of the show
Yes.
is what the prize was for the question.
Oh, yes, yes.
We were excited. It's been one of those shows, and we thank everybody for coming along on the ride with us.
Yes.
But the prize for this week's question of the show is a mouthwaterer costume for Punkleton.
Very nice.
Thematically tied in with the sweets we were talking about, the moon jube upside down cake, the s'mores, the candy corns, etc., etc. So that is the prize. So for the user who wrote in with our question of the week, which was memes something.
It is. It is memes for life 6848. Yeah, you'll be getting that momentarily.
Yes, send us your BBB ID via DM on Twitter or just at us.
Yes.
Communicate with us in some way, and we'll be sure to pass along that mouthwaterer costume for your Punkleton. You know what? If you don't have a Punkleton, we'll throw in one.
Oh, wow.
How do you like that?
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Okay.
So as we come to the end of wow.
A very wild, a very chaotic
Just a little
MSM
bit.
Live.
So I wanted to pick something to you guys, and I want to see if all the Monster Hammers feel the way, because we had some dipsy doodles,
Yes.
because we had some ups and downs here, and we're coming to the end of the hour here, but that hour got sort of
Yes.
chunks eaten out of it. Did we want to maybe answer a few more questions and bookend that at the end?
You know what?
I think it's a great idea.
Monster Handler Jen has approved.
I knew you
Where'd that voice come from?
Yeah, I don't know. It came from the sky.
Are you in the walls?
I only see producer Jen over
Tap
there.
if you need help.
Alabama.
Alrighty.
Real spectacular.
Alrighty then. Let's do.
Alright.
Yeah, you know what? That's only fair. All right. From Twitter, from Samuel Bacca 14. How did the main dimension and the higher plane interact with each other?
How do they interact? Great question. So they are both connected to each other as different elements of the monster. The higher plane is sort of this metaphysical reality that can only be attained, accessed by those monsters who are particularly well fed. So, Monster Hunter Tyson, if you were a monster after that delicious piece of pie,
Very yummy.
you'd be ready to go to Gold Island to access the higher plane because you.
Well, I don't feel like that.
Okay. Well, then how do you feel about it? Do you think you could get to the higher plane right now with that delicious meal that you had?
I think I could manage it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
there we go.
Sort of like right at the cusp.
Right at the
14,
cusp.
Level 15.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
level -5
Oh,
right
well,
now.
it'll take you some time to recover that.
Yeah.
Yes, the higher plane is accessed via sort of a sublime state of mind. We sort of see that alluded to in the Harvesting Zap
Yes.
video where we revealed Amber Island earlier this year, where you can see Mammoth already on Gold Island, sort of like connect with its mind and sort of beam its consciousness, sort of, leave the higher plane for a moment and
Yes.
sort of check in with itself. Because, of course, that's the sort of curious nature of the higher plane, is that you can exist in two places at once.
Yes, exactly.
Right? It's distinct from teleporting in the monster world because that one remains there. The only exception to this, of course, is that if you are getting boxed or boxing oneself in a wall box on Gold Island, that process, the strain of that is too great, and you do you do depart the main dimension, and there you are. You're suddenly boxed in the playground, which
Well,
sounds
there.
like me.
Well, I would love to hang out on the playground.
You betcha.
Yes. Next one from Facebook from Trey Lee III. What happens with the catalyst when it tries to stand up? Will it fall over? Do the cradles become anklets? Anklets. What happens?
When the catalyst tries to stand up. Now, I don't know if any of you have cats at home, but the disposition of the catalyst is very much like that of a cat's, where if it can be lying down, it will. It can.
Do you think it butt scooches maybe?
It can stand up. I think it probably
It
butt
probably does a lot of butt
What
scooching.
animal doesn't butt scooch?
Exactly.
Or worst of times, I think.
Exactly.
But I think the catalyst sort of has settled into that position because it's the most comfortable for it. Those legs are like tree trunks, right? They're nice,
Right.
big, thick legs. Now, of course, from a behind-the-scenes standpoint, when we were revisiting our Gloptic concept art and repurposing that into the catalyst,
Yes.
we're looking at sort of the silhouette of that character, and we thought maybe it wouldn't be exactly clear with the way that it is standing up,
Right.
that you, at a glance, sort of wouldn't be able to tell. It might get a little busy. We also sort of revised the design, as you probably already know, and knocked off a set of legs there, such that it's just the tiny little ones that sort of extend from Catalyst chin,
Yes.
or right under its chin kind of thing, and then its two big tree trunk paws there. at the end. So those were the sorts of design issues and solutions that the Monster Handler art team came up with as they were adapting Catalyst for the game.
Well, there you go. Next question from Instagram from Cat Momo the Fiddle.
Another cat.
Yes. Oh, there you go. How do monsters without mouths eat?
How do monsters without mouths? Great question. The adaptations of the monster world are varied and crazy. The one example that I always come back to, the pummel, is a kinetivore. So what that means is that the plant membrane that's stretched across its mouth actually sort of it's wedged in place, and that throat can no longer act as like an esophageal route. So what happens instead is that you take an item of food and you just whale it against the plant membrane, and then that is how nutritionally the pummel derives the nutrition. So it's a kinetivore. It gets nutrients from kinetic energy.
Is it almost like a photosynthesis?
Yes.
Oh, that's a hard word to say. Try that again.
Photosynthesis.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Where
like
you sort of, it's varied how monsters sort of power themselves.
So you're just bashing food on it.
You just, yes, and of course, pummels typically are mutually cooperative, and they will huck food at each other.
Right. Okay.
So
that's nice of them. They're basically feeding each other. It's like feeding grapes to each other,
Yes,
but throwing them.
If it isn't already abundantly clear, the monster world is a place of kindness.
Exactly.
Cooperation. If there's a misunderstanding, it gets cleared up very quickly. Everyone's trying to make sure everyone is as comfortable, happy, included, respected, represented as much as possible.
Yes. All right. On Twitter, from Fred Burn 9, is the reason to why Punkland practically whispers its ooga boogas on the shanty because it wants to preserve its loud, spooky voice for Spootical every year.
I do love that theory. I think it's great. I think another thing too is that it's great when a monster can show off different range of its musical ability across different islands. If it sounded the exact same on every island, it kind of get boring. A couple of recent examples of this, of course, is when Tring arrived in Wave 8 for Amber Island, where we heard for the very first time the role that it plays. That's a Monster World first there.
They like to shake things up on different islands sometimes.
And Placula as well, when it arrived on Bone Island for the first time.
Clavavera.
Sorry, thank you. Oh,
gotcha.
We had another one of those moments, like Vivane on Island.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking
Redacted.
Yes, Clavavera. Thank you very much. When Clavavera first came to Bone Island, there's two different sort of claves sounds that, depending on whether or not it's clacking just the tips of its fingers together, or it also sort of sounds more kind of like a wood block actually, as it's clacking upon sort of wrist gauntlet kind of thing. So whenever possible, we try and show off the different musical abilities of different monsters. So Punkleton on Cecil Shanty is, I think, another example of that, where it's like, okay, let's hear different, a kinder, gentler.
Yeah. There you go.
So that's kind of what we were thinking there. But I like that theory as well.
I do.
Saving its voice.
I do. I like that a lot. Next question from Facebook from Scott Douglas Mural. Why does it take longer to make a salad than a cake in the monster world?
Yes, because that's definitely not the case here in the human world.
No, you just toss the salad and it's ready.
I'm trying to make a cake. It's an hours long process. In salad, you just
toss it up.
Greens, you can even just go into your backyard, pick up some grass, throw it in a bowl, you're done.
Maybe don't do that.
But no, the reason that a big salad takes longer than a cake in the monster world is because, like we were alluding to earlier on Monster Kitchen, the nutritional requirements of monsters are sort of the exact opposite of humans. What is healthy for us is junk food for them, and what is junk food for them is healthy for us, which is why those items in the bakery are things like decadencies.
Okay.
Pie, pizza, cookies, cake, cupcakes, etc., etc. But the big salad is so healthy, it's unhealthy, which means it's healthy for the monsters. See how that works? It's like a flip over.
I don't know why I'm crying. I think it's so funny.
That's how it works. So it's so healthy, it's unhealthy makes it healthy. The
Perfect.
dog is not the turkey. The turkey.
Sounds like a world I would want to live in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of.
Yeah.
I'd avoid so much salad if it took that
very
long.
sad every day that I was born a human and not a monster. Kid. So imagine how great it would be to be like, okay, eat your greens there, and the greens are like cupcakes.
Yeah, but if they're
be
healthy,
lovely.
then maybe it wouldn't be as exciting. Because junk
right,
food, it's
maybe.
exciting because it's junk.
Well, you know what? That's a good idea. But that's actually not the case. Monsters love eating the junk food and it's good for them. So it's even worse for us.
So it's even worse.
To imagine that we don't have that experience.
What are we doing here?
It's like not getting your letter from Hogwarts. It's just a big disappointment.
Yeah, okay.
Right? It's the same kind of vibe. So.
All right. How many more questions do we want?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I
Okay.
think we're looking at the time. Yeah, I think that'll sort of level us out. How does that sound, producer Monster Handler Jen?
I think it's a great idea.
Perfect.
Let's crank out a few more.
All right. From Instagram, from Micah Kelly, how was Monculus created? Was it the Colossals? If they did create Monculus, did they do it themselves?
They did. Monculus is one of the very first
prototypes, yeah.
Singing monsters fashioned from bubblerite and the plasmic form of crystallium. These are like sort of like foundational core primeval elements of the monster world that were given form and function by the Colossals as they were trying to figure out exactly what kind of world that they wanted to create in the pocket dimension of Ethereal Island, which is where that sort of idea first, where the Colossals were sort of experimenting, sandboxing out these different ideas.
Okay.
Now, as to what that means about where Monculus might be found in the future, I probably just said it, but I'm not going to come right out and say it because it's fun to keep you guessing.
We like to keep people guessing, and we never just say where people are
Exactly. Until it's too late.
until it's too late. Anyway.
On Bone Island. You were right.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes, exactly. Shocking.
All right, from back on Twitter from Yelmit, why does the epic mammoth shovel snow and the common form not? Is it because of the extra limbs, or did the commons just decide to shovel and grow extra limbs along the way?
Great question. Here in Canada, we haven't had any snow yet this year, so
It's getting a little cold though.
It is getting. You know what? We've had a really long summer here.
We have.
Like right now, it's we're obviously sweating.
We are sweating right now.
But it's still quite unseasonably warm out. It's very comfortable out. But when the snow finally hits, great to call upon the services of an epic mammoth. Now, why does the epic like doing it, but the common doesn't? Who knows? It could be that with those extra set of limbs, as was alluded to, they can multitask. They can be shoveling while they're doing something else. While they're stuffing their face with some cupcakes or some cookies.
Oh yeah, multitasking. A lot of multitasking in epic
While
mammoths.
they're playing a handheld Switch-like device for playing the playground, like we saw depicted in our December video.
Yes.
Last year. A
cause for celebration. I was trying to think of the title and I couldn't.
It came to me only after I finished my sentence.
All right, perfect.
But I had to throw it in.
Now I think we're going to do one more question from Facebook.
Got a deal, buddy.
Yes. Oh, perfect. From Facebook, from Austin Gonzalez. Can the light monsters produce different colored lights besides the one that show when they play?
Excellent. I think it depends on how far we want to take that question. Obviously, different monsters like Bloat and like Fluoresce are capable of different kinds of light emanation. The rest of the light monsters seem to sort of have chosen one particular color of the spectrum and then sort of own that. But based on the rare light monsters that have already been discovered, I'm thinking of Gob, I'm thinking of Tutu, seems like those colors that they are able to emanate seem to be the complementary opposite of the color that the common produces. Clearly, latently, or perhaps sort of waiting to be expressed in some sort of evolution, they are able to produce different colors, but I think it's all about which color do they want to express themselves with on Light Island.
Okay.
There you go.
Very cool.
Well, everybody, it's been another episode of My Singing Monsters Live. Thanks so much for sticking with us through all those technical difficulties. But I think it was a really fun show.
It was a fun show. It was a chaotic show, and it was very hot.
It was great, and so of course, coming up early next week is Halloween for those who celebrate. So that represents the zenith of Spooktacle, and also next week, of course, in the human world is Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead.
Yes.
In the middle of the week next week. That's going to be pretty exciting. I wonder if there will be anything subtle and small that changes about Bone Island at that time. So definitely don't keep an eye out for that. On the day up. So thanks so much for tuning in to My Singing Monsters Live. We'll see you again on our next episode. Actually, no, we won't. You know what? What we'll see first. Okay. We're doing Extra Life.
Yes, we're doing Extra Life.
This year. I almost said the next time that we would see you was for the November episode, but strictly speaking, that's not true. So once again, Big Blue Bubble is going to be participating in Extra Life this year. So we'll be doing if I'm not mistaken, a 25-hour stream.
25-hour stream.
Not this weekend. That's right around the corner, but the weekend following that.
Yes.
And so that'll be an opportunity. I think we're going to plan to throw in sort of a loose style format, MSM Live somewhere.
Yes.
I know that I'll be there to help answer some questions.
There will be an MSM Live there at some point. And we're also going to have various giveaways where you can enter certain, there's some giveaways where contests where you have the chance to win some monster goods, maybe monster currency as well, and some other cool competitions and contests where we might actually be doing some wacky things.
Yeah. So stay tuned to our socials for more information about how to join us virtually for that Extra Life stream that we'll be doing next weekend. I can promise time, and this will be news to everybody else here.
Okay.
But there will be some quick sneak peeks of waves 9 and 10.
No way!
For Amber Island.
Who said that?
Yes,
which
way.
will cap off the rest of the year for My Singing Monsters. So make sure that you tune in so that you can get
some sneak peeks, chances to win some cool prizes,
and of course, having an excellent cause. Extra Life is a charitable sort of exercise event.
We'll be exercising
every year, where people from around the world get organized and they stream them playing games, board games, video games, any kind of game, all in the spirit of raising funds to support sick kids in hospital. So it's an excellent cause, one that we are thrilled to support every year. So make sure to join us next weekend for Extra Life 2022. We'll throw up more information on socials, and then we'll only have, depending on how it goes, maybe our November 20 episode might be the last episode of the year, because December 2022 probably all be on holidays.
Yes.
So there'll be 2 more opportunities this year to join us, so make sure you don't miss out on them. Extra Life and our November 2022 episode of MSN Live.
Yes.
Wonderful. Anything else to say?
I think there's only one thing to say.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Happy Monstering!